saying it's de-evolution because it's a downward trend on the genome. It's not an increase of information. But by no means does it kill the host, because we've all got them in here today. Every one of us has them in our genome. So it does not kill the host.
The next question is for Bill. The question is, are there any scientific falsifications of evolution?
Anybody think I answered that 3 times? Honestly, Joel, do you think? Of evolution?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, you can go back to my stone example. Did I say you can absolutely prove that it was the result of a design? No. I said it's the best explanation that requires the less faith. I wasn't there, Phil wasn't there, nobody was there at the beginning. You cannot completely falsify it. But here's an example that might benefit you. Suppose sounds like a North Florida storm. Suppose we're walking through Central America and I push a bush aside and I find a piping system, and this piping system has 60,000 miles of pipe. It's got a pump the size of your fist, and this pump can last 120 years. There's not one leak in this piping system. I go back to my university that's funding me, and I said, I found this fantastic piping system. It's amazing. I wonder who made it. Suppose my people who fund me said, no, 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 no. We have to come up with an explanation that's natural for this piping system. And I said, but why? It's 60,000 miles. It's got a pump. It doesn't leak. It's got the right fluid in it. They say, no, we have to find a natural explanation. Can I prove that it wasn't the result of design? Can I absolutely 100% prove to these people? No, you cannot 100% prove that creation is true. But by laws of thermodynamics, laws of biogenesis, what we see in design, the lack of transitional forms, the faith required to believe in the Creator is very, very small. The faith to believe matter and energy came from nothing. All of a sudden you got this energy and it filled the universe with a Big Bang. The Big Bang made stars. The explosions of the stars made the Earth, etc. I believe that takes much more faith. But I don't want to go too much because that's my closing statement.
The question was is evolution...
Are there any scientific falsifications of evolution?
Okay, now I don't know if that's supposed to be potential scientific falsifications of evolution, or if the question was, are there in existence known observations of falsifications? Potential falsifications, true chimeras, animals like Bill talked about who are half and half, that would falsify evolution. A mechanism that would prevent mutations from accumulating, that would falsify evolution. To my knowledge, no mechanism has ever been proposed by any creationist or intelligent design advocate, to my knowledge. And then Bill talks about this, mentions this often, matter and energy, just spontaneously generated and, appearing in your Campbell soup cup. That would falsify evolution. So there are very simple ways. There's many, many, many more. Seeing a fossil that's dated, that should be above another fossil in the geological column, and they're actually reversed. And there's no other way to explain it. You can't explain it through uplifting or erosion or just human tampering. Those would be genuinely easy ways to falsify evolution if it were not true.
All right, the next question is for Phil as well. Did the first living cell have DNA?
I don't mean to dodge the question. First living cell. If you're talking cell in the terms that we speak of it, then yes, it would by definition, because a cell contains DNA. This, in all honesty, I'm not trying to dodge the question, but like I said, I'm not a biology major. That would be a question whoever asked the question, I encourage you to look up. I know that the precursor to DNA is speculated to be RNA, and beyond that, I'm not really sure what because this is a lot of speculation. discussing the origins of life and abiogenesis is speculation. There's a lot of good work being made. There's a lot of good work. There's a lot of hypotheses that have been made. I looked up abiogenesis, found a website with, I think, 20 different ways in which abiogenesis is supposed to have occurred. So, did the first simple cell have DNA? I would say yes, because by the definition of cell, it would have DNA. Beyond that, I don't know what else to say. I apologize.
Once again, we agree. I would feel, based upon inductive logic, that everything alive today has DNA, so I would assume the first living organisms had DNA as well. But he brought up an interesting point. He said he found 20 different theories on how life began. People say how life began. Well, there's many, many different theories, but they only leave the one out that agrees with the law of biogenesis. I've seen these articles that say it came from pyrite in the edge of a pond, from outer space that life began, but they never leave the one that agrees with the natural law of science. But talking about the first life, there's something I like to talk about. People talk about what are the odds of the first life happening by chance. Let's talk about one protein. A protein is a tiny component of a single cell organism, okay? It's a tiny little part of it. Let's see if a protein can happen by chance. Imagine an alphabet with 20 letters. Okay, there's your letters. There's 20 of them, too. You can count them. Too late. Imagine a word that's 400 letters long. What are the odds that you could guess my secret word? You got 20 letters to pick from. I got a word 400 letters long. Okay? The odds are 20 times 20 times 20 times 20, 400 times. That, if you know logarithms, most of us don't, is 10 to the 520th power. That's for one word. Now, proteins are amino acids. I'll go real quick. You've got 20 different amino acids to choose from. The average protein in you is 400 amino acids long. So, I know time is short. The odds of one protein in your body happening by chance is 10 to the 520th power to 1. That's a big number. How big is the number? If you got a stack of papers, you could go to the moon and back 500 times. One sheet of paper is 1 to the 520th power. And that's only one protein. That's not even life, ladies and gentlemen. That's not DNA. It's not a cell membrane. Or, actually, this one is, I should have changed it. The odds you'd win the California lottery 500 times in a row for one protein to happen by chance. And once again, that's not even close to life. So statistics shows that life could not have happened by chance. Okay, thank you. How much is that?
Actually, we have two questions, one for Phil and one for Bill, and they were very similar, so I would like to try to combine these together. The first question for Bill is that, is there any evidence from an evolutionist that would cause you to become an evolutionist, and if so, what would convince you? And then, likewise to Phil, what type of evidence would it take for you to stop believing in evolution?
Okay, and I would be an evolutionist in a heartbeat. I have no agenda to be a Christian. I would save a lot of time, I would save money, etc. I would pursue other things, okay? So I don't have an agenda where this is my crutch. Once, real quickly, I was on a radio show and this guy said, "You've got to believe in creation because you're a Christian." I said, "Sir, you've never met me before. I first became a creationist and then I started reading the Bible to try to find out who it was." So what would falsify it for me? Seeing someone getting into the zoo for half price, a half man, half ape, half bird, half lizard. Tremendous amounts of evidence for that. Life popping up from non-life. Some kind of explanation for how an eye could happen by chance, an ear, a tongue, 60,000 miles of blood vessels. So there's many, many avenues that would cause me to falsify and give up my creation belief. But I just haven't seen it. I would give it up in a heartbeat. But my faith is not based upon pleasing mommy and daddy. It's based upon what I see to be as the truth of creation. And if you're a Christian here today, you've got to develop your own faith. And I think it's good to develop it on creation, not just to please other people.
Joel, do you want me to respond to that? Or just
Yes, the second question is what would cause you to abandon evolution?
what would cause me to stop believing in evolution?